All right, man, we're back. We're ready to rock. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, we got some cool stuff for you guys. So, welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers.
Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all
retro gamers.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers, your semi-weekly show where it's just an excuse for me and Ed to chat and talk some retro goodness.
Yes.
Yes. How's everyone doing tonight? It's a pretty good night. It's been another crazy set of weeks. It's the crunch. It's the crunch where I work. Yesterday was a huge meeting. So like there was a whole bunch of stuff that went down, and like now we've got to like do a whole bunch more stuff. It's a wild time, but I'm very much looking forward to not only some retro chat, but I'm also looking forward to some retro gaming, which will be happening today, which is cool. So Before we get into intros, we gotta say hi to this awesome chat. It's Litter Jim. What's going on? Fan of Fiction in the house. What's up? And Karsten, what's going on? I would like to call this officially a Good Times Club takeover. What's up?
That's awesome.
Good Times Club's in the house. The whole house. That's it. So it's pretty good. Chris Westerman, what's going on?
Woo-hoo.
There was another one.
You know what we'll have to, you know what we'll have to do to see if people go for this at some point, because you've been at 1,000 subs for a while. At some point, I know my channel's like at 700, we'll get to 1,000 subs, and then I know at some point we'll get in Calling All Retro Gamers to 1,000 subs.
Yeah,
you know, like we have like if people are subbed to like all three of our channels, I don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to do something super fantastic.
Yeah, it's just gonna be.
If you're like a member or board member or whatever, you know,
we're gonna have to do something.
But yeah, the trifecta.
Right. I am all about this. I am all about this.
The video trinity. I don't know. I don't know.
So what's going on, man? I mean, it's been a minute. How's your week going?
You know, still busy. Not as busy as you, but still.
it's oh my god, so that's
still pretty still pretty busy. You know, it's definitely good to blow off some steam. So speaking of which, so here's what I've noticed that's interesting with my gaming habits. Like it kind of depends. Kind of going back. So when we were like waiting for Evercade stuff, and I got my Steam Deck, right? Like I played that like nonstop. You know, evergreen. You know, very cool.
Yeah.
Then when a new cart would come out, then I would still kind of work into both. Now, what's interesting that I've noticed now with these last two collections, like I've only logged onto my deck once, and I've really been playing like, and maybe it's dependent upon the collect. Like I've really been playing a lot of that. But sometimes, and actually, like when I've been in my office, like sometimes I've been doing like some PC gaming, like on my actual computer, but only because I've been like forced to be in the office. So, but yeah, I guess it's kind of weird. Like I cycle through like whatever I'm really into, I play that, and then I shift back. But I like having options.
Nice.
Definitely. Because you know how it is. Like some, and that's I know we always talk about Evercade, but some things it's kind of like. When you get when you buy like a game by itself, let's say for a console or like for PC, like you don't 100% know what you're getting, but you're not like really getting it for discovery, right? Like you're getting it, you're gonna play it for a little while. Like especially for me, if it's like an indie, I'm gonna play it for a while, or roguelike, at least until I beat it once. But
right.
With Evercade, it's different. It's kind of like it depends on what I'm in the mood for. If I just want to play the games or go to discovery. Actually, last week I did boot up my PS4 for the first time because I wanted to play like the Sega collection, since I already had it on the big screen.
Cool.
So I don't know. It's kind of
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's weird how my gaming habits are all over the place, but I like having options. That's kind of the. Although wearing my shirt, I haven't done my daily Contra in a while. That was kind of a thing I was doing.
Oh, nice.
With the Contra collection, yeah. Well, I wanted to beat at least the OG NES version. First, it was like, well, can you beat it? Then it continues. No, I'm like, okay, without using the code, can I just beat it with like the three continues that they give you and all that? So, But yeah,
Very
things
cool.
are good. It's good to kind of come in here and get a break. Get a
Absolutely,
break.
man.
Oh, but you know what? I might hold on a second. I do have actually I think another free game off of Steam since we're talking about it.
Oh, nice.
Let me see if it's still. Huh. Nope, that would have been bad. I almost clicked it on the StreamYard window. You were like, what did it disappear for a second?
Yeah, this stack is just growing.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see if it's still. It's because of one of the. So one thing I've noticed that Steam does, like when they're having like one of their sales, then they might like have like a game. Let me see if it's still there. Like a game of theirs will come on and.
Karsten's been playing Sonic Origins and the Pico 3.
Nice.
Hey Karsten, do you guys see that that other Sonic game that just dropped? They dropped a trailer for a new Sonic game today, I think.
I didn't. Huh? I did not notice that.
Yeah, let me see. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can find that trailer. We'll play that too in the news. It looks really cool. It's like Sonic something. Oh, I guess this is it. Sonic Superstars. I'm gonna check that out. Actually, I watched the trailer just a little bit ago, so I'm gonna throw that out. Tiny Thor is pretty awesome. What's Tiny Thor? That'd be cool to check out. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm all about it. All right, let's see here. We got this one. Let me just it's gonna jump up, but I'm gonna take it right back down. Sega. We're gonna get copyright strikes tonight. That's what's happening. Still looking for games.
Yeah,
Cool deals.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Hopefully those of you did get Hue because that's no longer free anymore. Yeah, because I like to put the ones that you can get from Steam.
Yeah.
And not like Epic Games. And watch me go through all this trouble of finding it, and it still won't be free.
Yeah, Sonic Mania. I heard like all sorts of awesome stuff about it, and then even I didn't get into into Sonic Mania. I got like that's one of those ones I'm gonna go back and play. But for whatever reason, I don't know. I love like the whole like jump from 2D to 2.5D. It's pretty neat stuff. Yeah, Fana picked up Hue.
Yeah, I had Sonic Mania like on PS Plus, and it was really cool because it was like a completely like remixed like different version of Sonic. And then of course we didn't have PS Plus anymore. Okay, well, it was Field of Glory 2. I guess now it's 75% off. But
so it was a free and then non-free.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, that's why I had trouble finding it because I think it was like like last week.
Got it.
Yeah.
The smoke is almost gone, Lord Arjun. It's almost there. Yeah, that was wild yesterday.
I'll be distracted about that.
Did you see that yesterday? Like all the wildfire smoke? It got all the way to, it got out.
That's short. Yes. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
It got as far as down. I got a couple friends that are down in the Maryland area. And then somebody commented that they live near Virginia Beach and it was down there too. I was like, wow, that's nuts. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, I hope that like people are okay and safe out there. Like I know it's been hundreds of acres, and that's just It's bonkers because I mean it is really kind of nothing but trees up there. So like best to everybody, and you know like I know it's a monumental lift for firefighters and everything like that, and all the you know the rescue teams and all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely crazy, but it was surreal to see it. You know, like it's that far north, and then all of a sudden, like down here, we're getting like affected. We got friends and family actually in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so like central PA area, and their air quality was real bad today. It was it was almost in the 400s, which apparently is like super. It's like almost toxic air. So it was it was really bad. So yeah, we're hoping everybody gets some reprieve, get some nice fresh air. You know, it was even weird this morning. You could kind of see like the leaves on the trees started to curl up because there wasn't enough like photosynthesis or whatever. So it was very strange to see. It's wild times. Yeah. Your Phantom's like you got him in there down in Maryland. Went outside and said, "What's that smell?" Yeah, absolutely. It was so bad that last night during the meeting, we actually had to put out extra air purifiers in the gymnasium because that's where the meeting was held. You know, like we had to have the fans on full blast, so we had to like mic up people so they could be heard or whatever. But there was actually that like it was coming in through the vents, so we had to close the dampers and everything, like because there was actually like smoke inside of the building. It's just a wild time. It's wild.
Dang, man. Okay, so I did find.
Oh, did we get one?
Well, not on Steam, but close.
Okay. All right.
On good old gaming.
Oh, okay. Machine, what do we got?
Anastasia, Machine for Pigs. I think it's like
Oh, yeah. Actually, I want to say that I played that game once. Amnesia, Machine for Pigs.
Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to click on click on the link or go to the link, click on go to giveaway. Actually, this only has like 5 hours and 26 minutes left. So if you're watching this on replay, then you have to wait for things to refresh. It'll show you like the sales, and then it'll have it in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, so it's like add to library.
Yeah. So I was like, I knew there was something else, and then since I know, I'll put Epic. Hopefully that and Epic Gaming Store makes up for not having a Steam link. So I already own Payday 2 on Steam. Haven't played this in years, but in its heyday, that was a game that was just like a lot of fun to go on and just like group up with like strangers and people.
Yeah, a lot of people did like Payday.
And same with the original. I mean, initially that was one I definitely played with friends, but yeah, I thought there was something else. So yeah, good old gaming. I mean, Steam's cousin. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Lloyd says, I'm doing work on a town not too far away from some of the fires. Expecting an evacuation didn't happen. Back home now for a few weeks. All right. Well, again, you know, hopefully everything is all, you know, like they're starting to lock it down over there. Because that was definitely wild. So,
yeah.
All right. So what do we want to do first? Do we want to jump in to some news? Or do we want to jump in to a little bit of like high level? I won't go too long on it, but a little bit of the trip report. Which one do we want to do first?
Let's do the other thing and then go to the trip report because I know we're gonna.
Okay.
I know that's gonna be longer.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. So what we'll do, because actually trip report and the play and chat actually going to be like that could be like the main topic or whatever, and we could just like keep playing. We could actually start the quest of completion,
yes.
And then also talk about that. All right, so let's get into the news. So inexplicably, because I had no idea that was going to happen, the finger of the pulse of new gaming has been like lost to me. So I don't know anything about E3 anymore. I don't know anything about what's going on. But what I do know is it's June, and normally in June you get something. you get some kind of news drop or whatever. And boy, oh boy, did we get some actual retro related news drops today. We teased a little bit about Sonic, but first I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've been talking about in various forms on Evercast, on here, on whatever. Anytime someone mentions a PS5, I say one thing and one thing only, and that's I don't really care about a PS5. I don't want to look at a PS5. I don't care. I don't need it until Square comes out of their rock, whatever they're hiding under, and tells me what's happening on the next installment of the Final Fantasy VII remake. And the second you tell me about this game, I'm in. So welcome to today, June 8th, 2023, where Square dropped not one but two trailers for not one but two products in the Final Fantasy VII remake world. One for PlayStation 5, of course, and one for iOS and Android. Let's throw up a little bit of this trailer action and take a look at it together. One, this looks like ridiculous.
Yeah, this is the one that you sent me.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy.
Search and rescue operations are already in progress.
And it also looks like they're messing with us. You know, because like at the end of spoiler alert for Final Fantasy VII Remake 1.
Just look at it all.
It's
so green.
You know,
Even
you got out, right?
It's still going strong.
But why is there a newscast like showing other people like on stretchers and stuff that left? Like, what's going on here? Is there like a second timeline?
So this is a continuation, right? That's kind of what
Yes.
almost like a sequel. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this picks up like at the frame in which the last one ended.
As far as I know.
Well, as far as I know,
Cloud was
anyway.
never in Nibelheim 5 years ago.
So at this point, if Cloud was riding on a motorcycle and not a chocobo, I would have exited out of the trailer. So that made me very that made me very happy because I don't know, when Final Fantasy, when they just like become all these bros and they like drive cars, like you know, like they get too much away from the world of fantasy. Like this is like modern like magic and technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's Final Fantasy VII itself was all about like the melding of all that kind of stuff. It was like it was a sci-fi fantasy kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So,
5 years.
but it's like it's interesting because I really know the story of Final Fantasy VII, and they're hitting all of the main story beats. But every time you hit a main story beat, something in there just like they twist something, and it's like, what is happening? Like, why? Like, what are you guys doing? And I'm interested.
Your eyes on the Turk's latest
So-
and greatest, Elena.
She may be new, but
Yeah, this got me excited. Yeah. When
Yeah.
Final Fantasy looks too much like GTA, that's when I have a problem. Hey,
Come on, Chris. So,
But yeah, no, this was cool. But
yeah.
So what's interesting, like, as cool and awesome as, like, believe me, I hear you, like, the need to, like, get a PS5. For me, since now Sony has announced that it'll be a few years and their games will come to Steam, like, I think, you know, unless I just, like, hit the lottery, like, I can wait for it to come to Steam. But at the same time, I don't blame you for, like, wanting to get a PS5 like this for this, because Final Fantasy.
Well, I mean, well, for me, it's it. Like, you showed me that, you know, like that this is exactly, I've been saying over and over and over again. All I needed was Square to drop the trailer for the new game and tell me when it's coming out, and then the day it comes out, I'm getting them.
those you love.
Ben was asking. He's saying, "Is this the same as the
No, this is actually this is the sequel.
Yeah.
So they split Final Fantasy VII, the remake project, into 3 big games: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like this. Yep, Rebirth. This is the second part of the game on early 2024 on 2 discs.
Wow.
2 discs on a PS5 game. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? Is nuts. That's crazy. That's what that is. 2 discs. Then there's going to be another one. There's going to be like the final thing, like like finish the fight or whatever. So yeah, let me just go back because like just absolutely bonkers. So early 2024. So I'm imagining like February, March is what it's going to happen. So then this game drops, and then there's probably going to be like Phantom said, there was remake Intergrade, which had like extra content or DLC or whatever. They're probably going to do that for this because the wait will be another 3 or 4 years before we get the final piece of the 7 remake. But they weren't done because they're never done. It's Final Fantasy, and that's what happens when they do these projects. It's like Final Fantasy 13. There was like 1 and then 2 and then 3 for Final Fantasy 13, and there was like a side project that they had like in Japan on mobile, and then I think there was like a handheld one or something like that. There was all sorts of crazy stuff. Well, they're doing that with Final Fantasy 7 as well. There was before Crisis, they did a remake of that. That's on PS5 now, and just recently dropped. And then now there's this. We'll go to the next trailer. This is on this is gonna be on phones, iOS and Android.
Okay, this looks cool.
And it's like, wait a minute.
Is it free to play or can you?
I don't know. I hit the pre-register button, so I'm imagining it's gonna be free to play.
Yeah, okay, it'll be free to play.
And then this, this is like another story, but it's in like the upgraded chibi graphics thing.
Yeah,
but I'm like,
look really cute.
Like even this on mobile is still pretty rad.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
To see, like, and I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna play this. So like, that's how you get me to play like mobile games again.
So here's a tough decision. Well, you definitely have time to save up, but I was gonna say there's another path for you to get a PS5, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking like, hey, even like this GBA, I'm like, hey, if I had that, I had a bunch of like games lying around. If my local retro store had like a refurbished or like I guess not refurbished, but I guess used, even though it's whatever, like an opened PS5. Like if I could do a straight up trade and pay a little bit of money, I might consider it. So then, but what would be more difficult for you? I thought of. I'm like, not that you would give up like the Pocket Neo Geo, but I'm like, you do have a few spendy games.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it's a tough choice. Like if you could trade a few games, maybe not even have to pay any money or put down a little bit of money and do a straight up trade just to play. Like that might be. It's a tough choice.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, well, at least I know that it's early 24 for the PS5, so I've got some time, and then so that means that's penny saving for me. So I won't have to worry about getting, like I won't have to worry about selling games or anything like that. I'll just squirrel away some of the things. So I might just go like, all right, well, nothing else outside of my normal gaming purchasing, right?
Yeah.
So like, thank goodness this announcement didn't come the day before they announced the Duke thing, because this would have been the thing that would have made me stop from buying that VS.
I wouldn't have blamed you for that. Actually, I would have. I know it's kind of weird, but I would have, I wouldn't have blamed you. Like if I had a choice between you could get the Duke or put money down on this, I'd be fine with putting down because it's something new, right? Because the kind of vibes that it gave me, which is weird, it kind of like gave me the same vibes when like Final Fantasy 7 came out for PS1. Like this is new, but it's remade, but like they didn't like totally like destroy the graphic, like like they still kept to it. So yeah. I mean, I think like it's probably going to be pretty easy to do that, and it is nice that you can just walk into a store and buy a PS5 now. Because the other thing that a lot of people like might not know is I do still have an Xbox Series S, or not? Yeah, it is a Series. Nope, it's not a Series S. It's an Xbox One S. Oh, okay.
And they still hold market value.
They do.
So I'd probably trade that in. And if I can, I think I have at least one other like modern-ish console that I could put on a trade block, and then probably do one of those trade deals where I can get like half off or something.
Unless like you still play that a lot, or your kids play that a lot, like your Switch. I mean, I don't know. Like I think you have some.
Yeah, I do have a Switch. I don't have any of the accessories for it like the actual accessories. But it
still holds
literally
value.
just the Switch and the thing. Yeah, and then it depends. It depends on whether or not. I mean, the kids love playing the Mario Karts and all that stuff.
Well,
so,
yeah. That's why.
But if Nintendo, for example, were to drop like their new thing in the next year or two, like that would be trade bait.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't look like they're doing that anytime soon. Phantom says, "Don't judge me. I've never played Final Fantasy. What would be a good one to start with?"
Oh.
Go ahead.
Answer. So
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
So here's okay. So because you are a retro gamer like here's what I'd recommend, and you'll really appreciate it. What I would recommend, start, and it doesn't emulate it. Or start with Final Fantasy 1 for regular Nintendo. And
Really?
yes, and I'll tell you the reason, because that one is different in that you actually get to pick your classes. Like they have they have like fighters and black belts and red mages and white mages and black mage. Yeah, so like you get a customized. You don't get like attached as much like to the characters because you're picking these, but it's kind of depending on what you pick will help you go through it. Then once you do that, because it's the 8-bit, and if I remember right, I don't think you don't have magic points in that. I think you can only cast spells like once a day. So it's like then from that jump to Super Nintendo, play Final Fantasy 2, and then you'll actually like that'll be the first one where you'll get to be characters, be involved.
Yeah, technically it's 4.
Yeah.
Most of the Final Fantasies now have the modern numbering system.
Yes.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 2
but going by
US is Final Fantasy 4.
Going by Super Nintendo, because otherwise, like there was like Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 for regular Nintendo, like in Japan.
Mhm.
Then and this is kind of the path that I took. Then once you go and now Final Fantasy 2 for Super Nintendo, like that you can beat in 24 hours. It's not a long game. I think it's like shorter than the other one. Then go ahead and if you really like Final Fantasy 2, now the thing is the boss fights are a lot harder. Jump to to our Final Fantasy 3. Losing my voice. Yeah, jump to Final Fantasy 3. Damn it, I'm losing my voice.
It's all good. Oh, poor Ed.
Yeah, go ahead and talk.
Oh yeah. So Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6 in the modern numbering system is like widely regarded as the best of the 8 and 16-bit genre, and some even say it's 100 as long as No Cars came out, or of all time. Like pretty much people really like Final Fantasy 6 or 3. But my answer to that question is actually going to be way different. And the reason why is if you've never played a Final Fantasy and you haven't played many RPGs, my recommendation would be to play a shorter version of the Final Fantasy games, because it'll just give you it's like a toe in the water, right? You dip your toe in, and if you really like it, then I would actually recommend exactly what Ed just said, by going all the way back and playing Final Fantasy 1 and then 2 and then 3, or 1, 4, 6, right? Because I think those are they're probably the best in that older genre. And then as soon as you go to 32-bit, obviously 7, 8, 9 is again widely regarded as a really good one, but it's not for everyone. 10 is fantastic, and then etc. Right? The list goes on and on, because even though it's Final Fantasy, it never ends. But here's my pick.
Yeah, go to your thing. Yeah,
my pick is actually Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for the Super Nintendo, and the reason why is because that game was called Final Fantasy USA. And the reason it was called Final Fantasy USA was because they wanted to create a game to get Western audiences into the genre. So this game has a lot of not minimized, but less intrusive systems. It's got a lot of comedy. It's got like a light-hearted approach. It's not as brutally difficult as some of the Final Fantasy games are, and it's a complete open door. So when you play Mystic Quest from start to finish, once you get to the end, if you were then to pick up Final Fantasy 1, where you might get like jolted a little, you're like, wow, this is really brutal. At first, you won't have that experience if you played Mystic Quest first, because you're like, oh, okay, it's kind of like this other one, but just a little harder. But I understand what to do already from playing this other game, so let me play. Let me lean in, and then you'll probably enjoy your experience a little more if you had played the first one. So Final Fantasy Mystic Quest is actually my recommendation.
You know what? That's great. I should have asked Phantom like what his experience was playing role playing games, but
that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's what I was thinking. Man, it's weird though because like a lot of us, on a phone calls talk all day for a living. Every now and then I've had that happen where it's like I literally just got choked up where you're just like,
yeah,
you can't breathe, you can't talk.
Yeah, you get the little thing stuck in your throat. Yeah,
yeah, that's what. Yeah, so that was just weird. But yeah, otherwise I was thinking because the only reason,
Really?
I like your suggestion. Maybe do Mystic Quest first, but I was just thinking if you play the older ones, then you get to appreciate it. And it's kind of funny because due to I don't know if it's because of the translation or due to like the character limitations, you get to see how things are named. Like instead of lightning spell, like lit spell. You really get to appreciate all those little things. And then I was going to say, then you could jump to Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then for me, I really like the Final Fantasy X and X2 for PS2, like that whole.
Yep.
Like
that whole like it wasn't necessarily like a trilogy, but that like mini series was really, really good. Final Fantasy X, I think, is wildly underrated. A lot of people like it, but only for certain things. But man, Final Fantasy X was such a good game.
You know what? So within that universe, if you want to play something, I think
it's kind Ultimas, a couple of the SSI RPGs. Okay.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah. See, I would like Mystic Quest. I was bored. Another great one. If you want to play something that's quirky that you can beat within 24 hours, like Chrono Trigger, that's like an all-time classic. Like that story will.
Yeah, it's super good.
Will grip you.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not judgment. I mean, that's I'm glad you asked a question like that. Where to?
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah. I mean, they're like, I'm the definition of like, please don't judge me because like other people are looking at some of these collections that are coming out, right? Like Team 17, for example, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I remember Alien Breed. I might have played it once for like 15 minutes, but that was it. Like the rest of the collection is complete discovery for me. And then people are like, what are you doing?
If you want something really old school and just like totally like a kind of a different Final Fantasy. Before one of my Final Fantasy 2 for the OG Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very different. Very different. Reminds me a lot of like Final Fantasy 1, but except you can pick things like robots and monsters and to be on your side. And then if you want something that's kind of a little bit more like Zelda-ish, I think it's like Final Fantasy. Was Final Fantasy 3 like? Is it like Final Fantasy Legend?
Yes.
Yes, that one was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the Game Boy. Yeah.
Yes, that one was cool. But yeah, and really, I want to say I don't think Square put out a bad RPG. I really don't. I'm really trying to think. Even
no, and back in the day, they were on point. Most of not all of those Square RPGs are really excellent. Very, very, very cool. Oh, Enrique got me hyped to play Doodle Taxi. Yeah, the VCS is U.S. market only. Yeah, I mean it's such a bummer. We like in the VCS community, we've really been kind of like hitting that drum. It's like because I know they still have some like left, right? They still have some left over in the whatchamacallit in the factory. It'd be like just start shipping. Just be like, hey, you pay an extra $20 or $30 or whatever it is, and we'll ship it nationwide. Just do it. Atari. Just get them out there. Because there's people that are in other territories who would love to have one, and I'm like, go.
That's a shame. I didn't know you couldn't like just pay the shipping and get it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude, I'm waiting for Doodle Taxi to come to, especially if it's within hobbies. If it's within like the $5 to $7 price point, because I love Crazy Taxi.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is a really fun game. I got to check the leaderboards because as far as I know, I think I'm still second I didn't get the chance to go and take my throne back on Doodle Taxi, but it's pretty good. Lloyd saying hi to Ian. Phantom saying, watching Rich play Golden Axe Warrior Head, it's giving me an itch. Yeah, man. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, what's going on? Show me Retro. Never played enough of the game. Don't hate me. Hey, it's all good, man. It is all good. So before we jump into actually playing some games, let's talk about this other game that people probably played. Well, not this version anyway. But I like this. I'm really digging this art thing. Let's just go into some Sega here. So like to see the cool like new art style, like the 2.5D.
Yep.
I'm really digging it. Looks nice and vibrant. Like really kind of cool. You know, like this is this has me like, all right, I will play new, bright, vibrant Sonic in this like 2.5 like 3D animated character dealy.
That's actually pretty cool.
I am ready for this. You know, all sorts of different. You know, it looks like you know, like I don't know if it's like a full screen co-op. You know, like looks like up to 4 players. Like, I'm into that. Like, let's go. Sit on the couch and play some Sonic.
I like the look of this better than Sonic Frontiers, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, this looks really good.
I like this because I know a lot of people like Sonic Adventure and all that for like the Dreamcast, but I thought that type of Sonic was weird. Like, yeah, I like the like 2D 5 like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. It really does look sharp. It's like, this is pretty cool.
Sonic Superstars.
I like that it's Squat Sonic. Yeah. It's very, very cool.
Oh, coming fall.
Hopefully T-Lopes does the sound. Yeah. You gotta have some some classic stuff. We'll run through this one more time. Like this is like, I don't know. Another one of those things that came out of nowhere. And normally when you see a Sonic and it was like Sonic like classic stuff, you're like, oh no, please don't say they're gonna put out another collection. You know, like right? How many times do we need to buy the same Sonic game? And I'm like, all right, well if you're building a new one and it looks this cool and it's got couch co-op, okay, all right. Because this is a game that I can like, okay, well we can sit down and I can play this with like, you know, play with Douglas and you know, give a controller to Henry, and he can just look at it for a little bit, and then he'll learn how to play eventually. That'd be cool. You know, even today we'll probably play this. So yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like that's legit. I'm all about it. I don't know what this like this weird thing where they're turning into squids is. Like that's kind of cool.
So I do. If I can get the Steam link. I do have a cool Sonic clone game. If I can.
Oh, you got a Sonic clone game you want to show? All right.
If I can grab the man, why does Steam do this to me? Like in the web browser, like usually you can. Hold on a second. I actually have to go to the store page. Probably maybe be better for sharing it anyways. But it's a $20 game. Actually I need to go back and play it more. I picked it up on sale. For like $4.99. Let me do this. Let me just. Okay, actually, let me just share. Let me just share this real quick. So if you're if you're itching, and actually, I forget. Like I found out through like another YouTuber. Actually, I think you know what? I think it might have been Fan the Deck because like he'll put like games, and I think he called this one like Sonic Clone. But yeah, this one it's your 2D art style, and you're this like this like rabbit girl and go through. But it's neat though because you can just beat through it normally, or you have to like get all the gems or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Or
I think I've heard
like
of this one.
Yeah. So just have a video. I haven't seen. Hopefully, it'll actually till they show the gameplay because I've not seen this. Oh wow!
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's 2 hits until you die, unless you have like that thingy. But if you get like all those gems, then like you beat the level. You beat the level properly. Actually, this is really making me want to go back and playing it. Yeah, Freedom Planet.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's a. Yeah, and then because it's wild, when you get the mask, then you get power ups. Oh, I really got to go back and playing this.
Yeah, like a DKC. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Maybe he calls
Because it's like you're
Country
collecting
Club.
things as you're doing the jumping and platforming, like the bananas. Yeah. That's very cool. Hey, what's up, Nick? What's going on? What's up?
Historian.
Yeah, this is really.
But yeah.
This looks sharp. This looks cool too.
Yeah, so if you want like a Sonic, a Sonic Donkey Kong ish.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, yeah, it is $20. I mean, I got it on sale for like $5. But...
Well, even this that new Sonic game, like if that comes out, like even at $30 or $40, I'm in. I'm still in on that one.
Yeah, I just.
And I wouldn't normally say that about. To be honest, I wouldn't normally say that about a Sonic game. To be perfectly fair. So yeah,
Brian
that's
says
right.
he has
They
it
do
on
have a
Switch.
blast.
Cool.
Nice.
He
What's
has
going
it
on, Brian?
Switch,
Yeah, they have the blast mechanic like TK. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can definitely see that there's some, at least at the very least, some nostalgic referencing, and maybe some homage for sure. But that's neat. That's very cool. So I mean, with all that news, I mean, I'm very, very excited about all of those things dropping. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it looks like, as far as the phone thing, the phone Final Fantasy thing, the closed beta starts like now, or in like another couple days or something like that. So
what's that called
the phone one is Ever Crisis. It's Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. And then apparently you could just go in and hit the pre-register button.
That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess if they select like a random people, maybe you get push notification if you have it on your phone, I guess. And then you'll be like, "Oh, hey, you wanna do this closed beta thing?" And you go, "Yes."
This is the perks of pre-registering. Automatic. Okay, if I click on install, you'll get notified. Okay.
Yeah.
Install. Cool. Yeah, because like tons of tons of stuff for like Final Fantasy will just like pop up if I try to do a search.
Yeah. Right. Nice. So yeah. So let's move into the trip report slash completion quest. So let's do both at the same time. So I'm gonna hit this button, and then I'm gonna hit this button, and then we'll see what we can see here. Here I am, hanging out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The other new Double Dragon game. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool.
And I think isn't it a permadeath? If I'm trying to remember, I thought it was like it was different. Yeah.
All right.
I saw a game called Thor. It looks rad. I should take a look. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Well, that was the other. That was another like cool one.
Is it just called Thor, or is it a?
So Phantom in the very beginning of the show dropped a name on that one. Let's see here. Tiny Thor.
Oh, okay. No way. Because when I did a search in Steam, I'm like, the first thing that comes up is Tiny Thor.
Yeah. So Tiny Thor.
Dude, okay. I'm adding this to my watch list.
Nice.
Yeah, I can see why. It's like it looks like a really cool like kind of platform. Oh my god, it has like a very arcadey. Yeah.
Well, that's neat. That's super cool.
Dude, this looks very neat. Yeah, I was gonna say I would show it, but I don't want to take away from what you're showing.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, welcome to not only Calling All Retro Gamers, but a interesting way of doing the next new episode of Completion Quest, where we play through a game straight through, and then I use any means necessary to finish it, including game guides or maps or whatever. But for this one, for Canon Legend of the New Gods, there is next to no information outside of one source. And do you know who that source is? It's our buddy Crow from Crow Evercade, because he seems to be the only one who has played or has a full playthrough of this game online. And I've been searching for a while.
So
that's right. That's right.
You can buy it on Steam. Wow, for $12. Good lord.
What, Canon?
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any guides, view discussions.
Yeah.
You might as well buy the Evercade cart for that. We see
Yeah,
guides.
right?
No one's created a guide.
Yeah. It's so weird, right?
There's hardly anything in the discussion. Wow. Yeah.
This is where I'm gonna go. Well, you know what? This video could be the guide. I do cry every day for the Legacy Pico one. I absolutely do. Like this game, like I swear, if there's one of them that they need to like figure out licensing for or bring back in, like, hey, it's Pico Interactive Collection 1 again, and we had to remove whatever games. Yeah, do it. I'd still buy it again, and then tell everyone to buy it.
Well, what I want them to do is, if they have to remove, so here's the thing you have to wonder: was it just the license expired and they didn't feel the need, or do we think it's because there's certain games that we couldn't renew? Is that probably what we suspect?
It's definitely some of these games got purchased. I want to say it was Draken and one of the other are like Draken and the other game that's kind of like it, Dragon View.
Oh, okay. Dragon View was good.
Draken and Dragon View, both are owned by somebody else now. So because they're owned by somebody else and not Pico, they can't be on the Pico cart. So therefore, they couldn't continue to produce the cart. I think that's what will end up happening. So how? Because
I was thinking, like, let's say if they did re-release it, they still gave it the same number and they just changed the artwork, and they could just drop those games, right? It would still probably, if it was just those two games, it would still be a solid collection, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, what I would like for them to do is, let's say they re-released it, kept it the same number, changed the artwork, and they replaced it with a different game. Like, then I would definitely buy it.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have two of them. But yeah, that's Pico 1 is so Video Games Plus is interesting because I kind of think like that was in the early days of Evercade, and since Pico, let's say, is a lot lesser known than like Namco, Atari, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we're just going to give you the best of what we have. And then maybe the downside is because we took all because this card is what, like 20 games on it, or 18, something insane.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why the other volumes didn't have as good. Particularly the second one, but yeah. Anyways, no, of course we're gonna have to talk about Evercade since that's what you're playing. But
yeah. I like it says like the court is debauched.
Yeah.
What a weird word to use.
Yeah.
That's a crazy attack.
No, yeah. So tell us about the road trip. I mean, I only know a little bit about it because after like the last Evercast, we got off. You told us why you were there at the hotel and all that cool thing.
Oh yeah, man. So this trip was epic. Went to Boston, Massachusetts last weekend. First time ever in the Boston area. I went to Cape Cod a couple of years ago. That was my first time like staying in Massachusetts. That was a pretty good trip. But this one, right just outside of Boston, and then going into Boston the next that next night. Super cool trip. I don't know where Ed just went.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just talking myself, and I think people would prefer not to see that on camera. So
got it. The whole trip was to participate in a live show. Well, not participate in, but see a live show, Video Games Live, in in Boston at the Boston Pops. Man, what a show, man! What a show! It was an epic night. I got to not only see the show, but I got to meet some really cool people. I went all in on it. I got my ticket, bought the VIP pass thing, allowed you to sit about 2 hours before the show. I did an hour meet and greet with the people that run the show. Tommy Tallarico is a creator of Video Games Live. He was there. Marty O'Donnell, the guy who did the music for Halo, was there, and also Jason Hayes. He's the composer of World of Warcraft, and did some other work with Blizzard and some other games. And of course, Marty did the music for Destiny 1 as well.
Okay.
And that's pretty awesome because, well, one, I love those soundtracks, and it was really, really, really cool to not only like see them and be able to ask questions. And I got some cool swag. I actually did a short where I showed some of the swag. They get signed copies of the first page
Ooh, I missed
of
that.
the conductor sheets.
Ooh, I didn't-
So that was pretty cool. And like very, 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 very awesome stuff. And then the really cool thing happened was I was able to go backstage and then hang out with Tommy and Marty and Jason. Like being backstage at the Boston Pops is actually like a pretty cool and huge thing for me. Where are my buttons? Oh no. I think
What
my dog
happened?
unplugged the
Oh, yeah, because like no. So what's interesting, like I forget when I found out about like Video Games Live years ago, and it was one of those things where I never knew how cool it was to take video game music but have it be played by an orchestra. It's like one of those things that like you didn't know that you needed to hear it until you listened to it.
Oh, dude, it was so. I've always been a little like curious about Video Games Live, I love video game music, but I've always been interested in just like, oh, give me the chip tunes and give me the synthesized soundtracks, like stuff that I've heard from the game. That's what I want to listen to. And orchestrated music, okay, maybe it'll be all right. And I only listened to orchestrated music in headphones, like on CDs or something. Dude, listening to that stuff live with a really good orchestra, dude, nothing I've ever heard before. It was so good.
So check this out. Paste
And I
this
was
in
able
chat.
to see another really cool experience as well. A couple years back, I was able to see a couple of orchestras here in New Jersey orchestrate the soundtrack to Star Wars, like while the movie was being played on a big screen. So you'd go to like a concert hall and watch, episode 4, 5, and 6, but the orchestra would play the soundtrack live, like as the movie was happening. That was also epic. But I gotta tell you, with Video Games Live, dude, like epic stuff. It was such a great show. And then after the show, we were able to hang out, do another meet and greet. And then right before the show, another buddy of mine, his name's Mike. He's one of the testers for Intellivision, and he brought the Amiga with him. So I was able to play some of the games. I was able to play the darts game, cornhole. Played some. What else did I play? Astro Smash. Played some Evil Knievel. All sorts of cool games. So we were able to play that stuff, and that's really cool. It's just a cool experience, just to be able to do all that kind of stuff.
So real quick, so the link that I put there, because I was looking on Spotify,
Yeah, man.
And they do have a "This Is Video Games Live" like official Spotify playlist.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
I like when Spotify is probably the AI that curates it, but I like when they curate them, because then it just makes it easier. Because sometimes I don't know how often like people like update their own, but yeah, I'm like I need to get back into listening. Like this is great music to listen to while working in the background,
Yeah.
something. So yeah, I just added that to my Spotify. That's why I was like showing like that means nothing. Memorize that link. That means
Very cool. Very
that
cool.
means nothing. But yeah, definitely. Oh, so Enrique, yeah, so yeah, actually growing up, I remember my buddy had like the Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger soundtracks, and we would play like Dungeons and Dragons and the Star Wars role playing game, and so we would like listen to those in the background. Actually, kind of a quick little side topic. So yeah, I've been listening to a few like Dungeons and Dragons like podcasts, and like I think a part of me, I don't know, find a group online, and then I just kind of found out like they'd have like a Star Trek, like similar like role playing game. They just did like a second revision of that. I'm like, that would be so cool to be able to like you could be like a captain, like probably eventually like work your way up to be a captain of the ship or like an engineer or who knows. So yeah, I think at some point in my life I thought about that. Like I'm having fun and listening to Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Man, I'd like to get back into playing that. Yeah. Anyways, kind of
Very cool. Very cool.
Is that your? Okay. I wonder if that's got to be your video card or your capture card. I was like, why
What's up?
We just like glitching out there for like a second.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, the capture card does that sometimes.
Yeah, don't you love it? But yeah, man, that's but yeah, going back to your thing, that's so cool to be able to like go to that and like go backstage and
Oh heck yeah, man!
and see
I
stuff.
mean, and that's the cool part about it is it's like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out, so for those of you that didn't know, for a really long time, John Williams, was the conductor for the Boston Pops for a long time. So like being able to be like, oh hey, I'm hanging out in the green room where John Williams like just basically was just straight up, that's a really cool. It's like really cool.
That is pretty neat. Yeah.
I mean, as far as like like modern day soundtrack composers, John Williams easily my favorite movie soundtrack composer of all time.
There's a good documentary on it. I can't remember if it was on Netflix or Hulu, but there was like a good documentary on it. And me and my wife like watched it like maybe a couple years ago. I don't know, but they played like pretty much like all like the cool like popular like symphony type music like he did. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, definitely. But it's so cool too. You got to like meet people and like and all that, and able to like coordinate it. And...
Yeah, no. So the other thing that was like really neat was the fact that they like not only were some friends of mine from the YouTube like Mike, but also it wasn't just him. There was Mike. Like Mike was there. Chuck DJC Game Studios. He was there. The people know him as Retro Advisory Board. He was there, and that was really cool to see him again. But super highlight for me, super highlight was Boston is the area in which the Atari Creep lives.
Yeah.
And for the first time in 4 years of knowing this awesome person, I was able to meet him. And that was epic. That was really cool. Because, to be honest, it was likely the reason why I went on that trip to begin with, because like I was like, oh wow, not only do I get to go to this place, but I also like get to meet somebody that is is like a really good like friend of like online things. Like I'm in. It would be the same as if if VGL came to your area, Ed, and then it came down to for us to meet. Like it's the same things. I just like it was awesome. It was awesome. And then like all of the other things were basically icing on the cake. But going up there to meet and hang out was the best. It was really, really cool. So we got through the first fight already.
Oh, I forgot to say, like, before each encounter, because I forget you can change orders. You can maybe use, but I know, but you can change some stuff. But before every encounter, I almost forgot to tell you, like, I always do a quick save and then I save in slot 1, and that way, that way, when I would get to, because if you die, you have to start the whole freaking battle over. So, like, if you're in the middle of the battle, the earlier ones they're a lot quicker, right?
Yeah.
But as you get into it, the battles get longer. So if you're in the battle and you feel like you're at a safe spot, then I would do like a quick save. Then if I screwed things up, I could just always revert back to the beginning. But I think in the beginning of the battle, you can change some stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. In any tactical RPG, I always get into that habit. But I forgot to say that. I mean, there's no shame in save states.
Yeah.
I use them all the time, like playing like Project X on the Amiga collection. Because I don't think you don't have unlimited continue. So yeah, actually for a lot of games I do that. Like beginning of the level, save in slot 1. When I think I get to a safe-ish point, then I'll do another one. That way, in case I screw it up, I can do.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit a save point right here.
Yeah, but I will say real quick, and we'll talk more about it Saturday. But yeah, I've been like. Amiga collection, believe it, it's been Project X and then Quack. I'd love to say like those two games. I've been playing more than even the Alien games. And those two games are my favorites. Well, those who watch my video, and then what's a super hidden gem? I'll say right now on Pico 3 because I'll review that next week. That that new Radical Bikers.
Yeah.
That game you have to get used to the controls, but once you do, that game is freaking amazing. The only downside is I know it was unreleased. To play that on original hardware would be torture because I swear to God, once you lose a race, I think you have to start all the way over to the beginning of the game. I don't know if you have to go back, but so that's But the great thing though is again, it's just the levels aren't long, but at the beginning before every race, save state. Because you learn it's timed. You'll find out that you have to cross the finish line. There's some levels that have shortcuts. It's actually pretty. It's not like Outrun where you just get to choose paths. This you can choose shortcuts. Like some levels, you have to choose the shortcut and you have to get the power up, because having a second or two can make all the difference. So, anyways, that might be my favorite game on Pico 3. Believe it or not, that's just and the music.
Nice.
Yeah, the music on that's fantastic. Because initially when I played it, I think I may have even said, see in the next week's video that. You have to get used to the controls, but that game, I didn't think that little one was going to be good. I'm glad we get the Game Boy Color port instead of the arcade because it feels like it's something special since it wasn't previously released.
Nice.
Cool.
Silver Bubble Pop's another good one.
Yes. But yeah, definitely some good stuff. And then, of course, I've always been playing Slay the Spire, mainly and that's what I've been kind of playing on PC, and actually you can also play on deck, but that's a roguelike card game. I think it's been out for a number of years, but I've really been enjoying the fan-made mod where you get to play the villains instead of the heroes. And that's one of those games where once you beat it, they call it Ascensions, which each time then you can replay it. I get the equivalent of some other games having a curse, you have a penalty, but I love single-player card games like that where you get to make smart decisions and there's RNG involved. Sometimes you can play and you're screwed no matter what because you didn't have the right thing. But then there's some times where you get opportunities. So yeah, I get sucked into that. And then what else? And then Wild Frost, which I supposedly said was a Slay the Spire killer, which it isn't. They've recently updated that. But yeah, I really like those roguelike games. There's a lot of them on Steam, but some of the ones that are good. Pico 3, ones that you aren't fans of. I need to play more of 40 Winks, but the camera and everything is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that. It's weird because my brain. Oh, was Canon? I think was it a SNES game? I think it was.
It's a Genesis game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It does, but the art, I agree, fan. I thought it was a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it does look like a Super Nintendo game for sure. The sprites are nice and chunky.
Yeah,
but the music is the giveaway.
True.
It's got that FM synth sound, where the SNES has the was much more rounded. All the tones were really, really rounded.
Yeah, your capture card is not like this ever. Like, yeah, like it's like.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
You're marking the paths, but that's cool. It's like long as you can see it to play. But yeah, the thing
Those
with
are
this game that's kind of neat is, so it's good and it's like you can like I can play it in hour increments.
Yeah.
Like, like depending, like maybe when you get through one or two battles, because it's nice to be able to do that, but at the same time, it gets a little bit tedious. But then it's like if you want to be able to play a role playing game without having to like think of what town do I have to go to, what NPC, what item. If you literally just want did you die? A game that focuses on the fighting, then this will do it. So it has its ups and downs. But I do hope, like, we do see more of this, getting these translated games. Well, I mean, unreleased stuff like with Radical Bikers. I was really about to say Batical Rikers. But you know what? I need to look at the lit. You would think I would have like the list memorized. Probably if you asked me like the Amigo collection, I would, because initially I think I started playing Pico 3 more, and then I dove into this, and then I haven't like gone back. Where is the list? Home console. No, Sydney. Oh, you have to go under Pico. I'm looking at Evercade info. I hate that. I was just over the menu, and then okay, he has it separated out. That's fine. You're gonna go to Pico. Oh my god, that menu. If you move your mouse in the wrong spot, you get to like resets. Okay, look at the list. Super Bubble Pop. I haven't figured out. That's just weird. Oh, okay. So Legend of Wukong, which will probably be another completion quest. That I want to play more. Actually, Zero Tolerance. Oh my god, I've been loving that. I knew there was something else. So that's a great, like, I guess, preparation for Duke. That one's a little bit different because I didn't read the booklet, but you have to kill all the enemies in a level, and then you can go to the next one. Because it, like, when you pause the game, it says like zone not cleared, and then I kind of figured out, and then you just like follow the map. So that's like a lot of fun. And believe it or not, like, I made myself play more like Sword of like Sodan. Like,
okay,
that game is so bad it might just be good.
Really?
Yes, because it's weird because like the sprites and everything look weird, and like the way you swing your weapon, but then you can like the hitboxes are weird, but like once you can kind of like the jump button as the same button, if you press it in a direction you turn around. But the fun thing is you can like mix potions and do different things. So yeah, I've gotten to the second or third level, but it's so, and the one potion can give you a lot. It's really quirky. What game makes? What do you think makes a? Oh my god, this is a great. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Phantom. So there's one YouTuber I watch. So here's what like. So here's kind of the I don't like the term roguelite. That's kind of weird. Like, so roguelike. So that's what makes. So there's a few key things that make that make a roguelike game. One is definitely like permadeath, and that when you die, you start back. You start back over at the beginning. That's kind of the one main thing. Like, there aren't any continues or anything else. The second biggest thing is that, while you don't keep your current gear and everything, there's some type of overall like progression that you can unlock. So that way, like, usually like roguelikes are set up that when you die, you come back stronger. So it could be that over time, like, let's say you can improve a character's strength, you can unlock more weapons, you can unlock more abilities, and you're learning as you're doing it. So that's kind of the thing. There's definitely once you and usually it's punishing because of that, but you learn. But the great thing is something like Dead Cells and Hades, you can exit the game, you can save exactly where you are, and you can come back later on. So that's what's kind of neat. But yeah, that's kind of the main thing, is that and it gives you a new experience every time. So that's what I like about it. Like the difference is like a Metroidvania type game. Yes, you have to go through and collect the certain items and get the certain things like Cathedral, which is awesome, but that never changes, right? Something like that, or like something like Zelda, like it never changes once you know where the items and you go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing between roguelikes, yeah, so permadeath, some overall progression, and then the big one I forgot, randomly generated levels. That's some type of randomly generated, like, so it's basically not static. It could be a dungeon crawler, but like something like Dead Cells isn't. That's actually like Metroidvania-ish, to where maybe you can't get to certain spots of the level without abilities, or something like Hades. It's not at all like, well, kind of, it's an overhead view, but it's not like Diablo-ish. I mean, it could be, but those are kind of the things. That's up. So something like this isn't a roguelike, because I mean, when you die, you can just go back to your save point and you can just you can continue on. A roguelike, you can't,
Yeah, no, this is a strategy RPG for sure.
But yeah, those are kind of the key things. Random level generation, progression unlock, and then permadeath. But so something like whatchamacallit, something like Xenocrisis isn't a rogue, like something like Xenocrisis does have random level generation, which is great. Like how it's different. It's like different every time. The bosses are the same, but that doesn't qualify as a roguelike, because there's no permanent unlock progression. Yes, your character, like, you can get more grenade slots and you can upgrade your weapons, but when you die, you don't unlock anything permanently. So it's not really a roguelike. That's just kind of like just a challenging game. So that's kind of the difference. Dating myself, I played the original roguelike. Yeah, actually, so speaking of which, check out Geekstorian. He actually, I'm pretty sure on his channel he has well, I know he does. He has like a gaming moments history where he talks about like the first roguelike and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jerem has a question. He said, "Rich, any predictions as to when we'll see Unsung Heroes?"
Man, I really hope that we see it soon. I backed that game a while ago, but I can say with somewhat certainty that at least a month ago they did put out an update on the Kickstarter. So I know they're still working on it, but it's one of those games that sometimes it just gets to the point where you're like, oh, okay, well, we've got to wait, and it's just up to them as to what they're going to do. So hopefully soon. But the good news is at least we're not waiting, in the wings for games. Because that would be pretty sad.
Is it Unsung? I think I might have
Unsung Heroes?
Unsung Story?
No, there's a Unsung Heroes is a like
Tales of the Guardian
action adventure kind of game. It was on Kickstarter. They did the Kickstarter. It was like 2 years ago, I think, almost now.
Okay, maybe that's that's why I can't find it. Unsung Story. Okay, never mind. I'm just trying to find
Blade's
it.
Games in the Cave. Yeah, so is mine. And Pete's actually. But yeah, we're just all kind of waiting. So you know what? I'm gonna hit this first. I'm gonna do a save. I'm gonna do a save just last.
Yeah, that's like the general rule for me. Like of any game, unless you're playing something like an arcade game, or like playing like a score chaser, of course. Then I think like if I were to use like save states and food fight is stupid, because there's like no that like sucks all the fun of it. But anything else where you're wanting like to just complete the game at the beginning of every level, quick save slot 1, and then as you're feeling safe and as you progress it, you can do a quick save. And depending, like if it's a super tough game like Xenocrisis, then I'll have multiple save states, because then if I screw up at a certain point, then I can go back. It feels so weird that the original Rogue is available on Steam, not good old gaming. Huh. One of these days I'm going to dabble, because somebody made a new script on GitHub where you can easily you can install like pretty much any of the launchers, good old gaming, and the Amazon Game Launcher, Epic Games, and even like Netflix and other I might try that again on Steam Deck. And I actually have a lot of like free games off the good old gaming library and Epic.
That's cool.
Yeah, I forget what, but just to test out for the. Actually, they even have one like for itch.io too. So that'd be kind of neat to kind of see what launchers. But yeah, for me, so like I'll confess 100%, like definitely like the Epic Gaming Store, like I know there's probably a lot of people like me who just use the freebie account. Like with that, I haven't spent any money because it's kind of like even if it's a better deal, like I'll wait for it to be cheaper on Steam because Steam I feel like I permanently have it. Good Old Gaming is good in that I think they're going to be around for a while too. I don't know. Steam is still my preference, but like it's kind of like for me to buy something of Good Old Gaming because I'm so invested in the Steam universe. Like it would have to be something that wasn't on Steam, which I don't know if the older titles. But yeah, every now and then they have like the giveaways for stuff, and they might have some older games that aren't. But yeah, that's interesting that you would think it would be the other way around. Good Old Gaming.
Sweet. So we've got 2 battles down, and now we're in Longan City.
Yeah, see, it's a kind of game where you can even play talk. You can even like play talking. So
absolutely. So then that'll be it for now. So we're gonna go back to this.
Anyone playing Tears of the Kingdom? So here's okay. So here's what's interesting about that, because like I could even, let's say maybe go through and emulate it, but I haven't wanted to go through the trouble of finding the ROM. So for me, like I played like Zelda 64, a little bit of the game. For me, like when there's a classic game like Mario 64, for me personally, once those games go 3D, I don't have as much of an interest. I did play and the 64 version back in the day, like on the Wii and all, through the Virtual Console. So something like, so for me, like the new Zelda, like it's cool for those who are into it. For me, that doesn't excite me as much. Now, with that said, I know like Rich, like you, passing on, like you tagged me, that thing where, what is it? What like monthly, whatever that gaming monthly, like they give,
monthly, yeah.
Like they're giving away what to call it, a Steam Deck, giving away a Switch,
an OLED Switch,
which I would assume that probably comes with the digital version of that game.
It's the Zelda Collector's Edition, yeah.
So the funny thing about that, like, even though I wouldn't go out and buy that because it is the Zelda's Collector's Edition, and literally all I would have to do is create an account and download it. I wouldn't have to like mess with trying to emulate. Like if I had that, I would play it.
Yeah, I mean, for me too, I'm like I would like to play Tears of the Kingdom, because I really did enjoy my experience with Breath of the Wild, but I am kind of the same way. I would almost rather play some of the more classic stuff.
But
the 2D stuff rather than the 3D stuff. But it's just that just comes down to like personal preference. Because I do have an attachment to the series. It's just like as far as that stuff goes, I don't know if I like the mental transition between that third person action to the 2D action. I prefer the 2D action on that particular thing, but something like like Final Fantasy, right? It doesn't matter to me what it looks like because it all kind of plays it plays the same, like a turn-based.
Well, you know what? So I'll tell you why there's a big difference and why I think it's fine with Final Fantasy, because with like Zelda, like Link is the main iconic character, right? Like he's been in all of them. Maybe like the Philips CGI or the weird, the ones for the canon, anyways. Like he's in all of them. Final Fantasy is like an anthology in that, pretty like with the exception, like for a lot of the earlier ones, like the Final Fantasy 2 cast is different. Like you get a new cast every time. That's it's a new story, it's a new plot, it's a new universe. So it's kind of like if they took Final Fantasy, like our version of Final Fantasy 3, and did a remaster and totally made it 3D, then that would turn me off to it because, but did like something like Final Fantasy 7, that was something totally new. Like Cloud didn't exist in any of the other Final Fantasies, so that would, you know what I mean? So that was fine. And then because of that, it was fine to still take it to PS2 and So I think if it starts off in 3D and it exists, then it's different because that's the nostalgia. That's where you're used to seeing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like, I guess what I could equivalent to if they take an older movie and they maybe like a black and white film and then they re-release it. Now they make it color, but they've changed it so much. Like, I kind of like the original, you know what I mean? Maybe it's like that because it had so much of a facelift. It doesn't seem like the same game. So that's
Mhm.
you know what I mean, kind of like the same thing like that. But if they took Final Fantasy VII and they did like a 2D remake, that would be really weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's but what else is interesting? So it's like yeah, give it. But no, here's what I would do. What I would rather do if I did win the Switch, and let's say if the new Final Fantasy was out, I would
Mhm.
take the sealed Switch and I'd go down to my retro store and I would trade that. See if I could trade that. You know what I mean? Like see if I could trade that in for a PS5 with the latest Final Fantasy. Like that would
Right.
like that Final Fantasy. As much as I like that more excites me because it's like retro renewed kind of like it's they're continuing. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's one of those things that like the funny thing is who knows, maybe 10 to 20 years from now when the Switch is really retro, maybe then we'll really get into it, and then maybe you could pick up like a Switch Lite, for like $50, and then you could pick, you know what I mean, like because they've sold like millions of those copies. Like I have a feeling at some point the Switch will go in the way of like it'll be like how the Wii U is priced now. You can pick up games for $5, $10, $20. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
maybe then that's when it would interest me. Like now that's become really retro, kind of like how like the DSs are now, and it's like sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, for sure.
that's one of those. So the one thing though that I think is a dumb move on Nintendo's part, while we're talking about Tears of the Kingdom, is that there was I think you may have saw this, Rich, where there was like an exploit where you could like dupe your own equipment.
Yeah.
So like if you want, so for me it's kind of like it's a single player game, and it's not like it's not like any like not like multiplayer. If somebody either because for them they want to make the game more fun or they don't have the time, I was like, just like Nintendo didn't have to patch that. Like, who cares? Like, you can choose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was kind of
not
weird.
Gonna hurt anyone.
Yeah, I was like for me, I wouldn't I wouldn't want to play like that. But if there's someone else that that's what Nintendo is weird. Like it was like fixing a single player exploit that's not game breaking, right? It wasn't something like you could get stuck past a level. It was like, dude, just the ability. It's almost it's like Nintendo was like, no, we take away your fun. Yeah. So little side rant while we're on that, but yeah, dude, no, I like this kind of chill and chat. You just like having that in the background and
yeah, man,
can follow along. That's a good. Don't judge me. I haven't played Zelda either. No, dude, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's what's so great about like just being into video games and retro gaming is that depending on when you were, so it's like depending on when you were born, type of family you grew up in, and what you were exposed to. And all kind of friends you had. All of us come from different. All of us come from different places. Some people like the Super Nintendo is like their first. What I think is really cool is like when someone's like their favorite first system is a Super Nintendo, but then they end up like really liking the older stuff like Nintendo or even Atari or something.
Yeah.
They get into the other, and that's what going back to Evercade. That's what's kind of neat is like Evercade. It exposes you to all different types of like retro.
Yeah.
Something kind of like something there for everybody.
So speaking of Evercade, do you know the? I know people know that it's a thing, but I've confirmed that it's definitely.
I know what you're gonna talk about. Having it with the coffee mug.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, 'cause I talked about this on Evercast because I saw someone posted it to the Discord.
So yeah, I mean, it'll work as long as you have the latest firmware. So on the controller, so that's what is it? That's B, A, and X, so like all three. So if you press and hold them down. Oh, maybe not.
Do you have to be out of the menu?
There we go. No.
It keeps selecting 8 eyes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to do when there's a game in, but
yeah.
If you start with the B, if you start with B down and then hold the rest, it'll give you the mug.
Yeah, you got you. Yeah,
that's a tease though.
That is a tease.
I mean, if you're going to show it to us, you might as well sell it, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna say you got yours late, and I remember you talked about that in the last Evercast, like not getting ever since the whole thing with Royal Mail, like now not getting them like a week early anymore. If anything, it's like you're getting yours a couple of days later than me, and I thought I was.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a bummer because it's like, I mean, like Fun Stock and Royal Mail was like the secret hidden connection for people in the East Coast,
Yeah.
getting your stuff all sorts of early. And I'm like, well, now we're just, now you get it when you get it, and you're like, oh, all right, I guess it's okay.
Well,
It was all right. I was able to do my unboxing today. That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, and you got the bundle. That's something. But for me, what's in like, it depends. Like, if you're going after every cart like we are, like it adds up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for the shipping, and that's why Video Games Plus is the secret, because depending on the Canadian dollar, like this time it was like $37.06, and that's for 2 carts. The time before that it was like 36.
That's not bad, actually.
No, and it's free shipping. Like that's, and if you want, yes, that's
wow. All right. I
you
mean,
can throw a couple extra bucks
that
at
is
it.
That is a free.
Here's the thing: you can spend $3.50 Canadian, which is like another $2, and you can have it sent like within 2 to 7 days. So you can really, for still under $40, you can even have it get sent faster. But
yeah,
I still, for me with the free shipping, the latest, unless there's a weird customs thing, usually the latest I'll get it on is the day it releases. Sometimes a few days before. Usually not, usually not later. $1. And they're great. Oh, the other thing too is you do get like bonus bucks for like, is it like maybe it might be like every like $40 or $50 you spend. I don't know. I'll have to check, but over time, you may be able to get like a free collection over time. So that's why
And I'm such a sucker for the bundles though. Like it's like they're just getting me every time now. And the new one, like I had to wait because of the Duke order. I had to get the Duke order in.
Yeah.
But then they dropped the other one. It's like, oh, here's another shirt, and I'm like, oh man, I really want it. I want the Tate shirt. I want it. So
the only other thing too with shirts is that like it's when you're buying from the US, like they're different. Like our size system is a little bit different.
Well, yeah, you just add for me, I just add a size.
It is,
so
but
like for like England size, I just give me the XXX and it's fine.
I did that with this, but like it's funny because like it fits a little bit different. Like it's not like the other one that I had. Like it's like a little.
Yeah, the shoulders are different.
Yeah. So it just, I don't know. It just kind of depends. But it's like I think it's great that we do have all those other options. But it's kind of like, hey, if you're wanting to save money in the long run, Video Games Plus.
Yeah, I mean that could be the secret.
Their customer service is excellent because like if you cancel a pre-order, they're not supposed to refund you the money. They're just supposed to give you credit. But like they're nice. They're like, hey, we'll do it this one time, even though they've done it like a couple times.
That's cool.
And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but coming to it goes through customs a lot faster than going.
I think that might be a thing though, because they're the like the Commonwealth or whatever.
They're coming from Europe. Yeah. Because there've been times where it would have been here quicker, but then for some reason it's been like a week or two. Like, really? What are they? They're farting around with it there in customs. I'm like, come on, So that's why I said like for the certain bundles or special editions, you don't have a choice. But I kind of wish they would let VGA like get some exclusives.
Yeah, I am doing the same thing, Phantom. Yeah, because I used it on the bundle. I used it on the cup bundle. And I was like, I basically got the cup for free. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But, man, I could have used it on that Duke bundle, man. That would have been such a killer.
That would be the time.
Killer deal.
If they don't expire, that's what I'm saving mine for. Like if there's like an exclusive handheld that I want.
Yeah. For sure.
20% will pay for the shipping.
100%. 100%.
Whatever.
So
should be 100% code, no, but again, but for collecting things, it's just it's just kind of like what brings you joy, and for me, it's always about like having clutter. And the 24 pound,
24 pound off is not bad at all. Not bad. That is a good time, but anyway, it is nearing pumpkin time for me. I still got another day at work, and it's gonna be a crazy one. I can't wait though. I can't wait for the weekend. Got my nephew's birthday party on Saturday. That's gonna be pretty cool. And then hopefully a relaxed day on Sunday and get recharged for the weekend. Oh, speaking of the birthday party, sadly, they chose poorly as to the time frame of said birthday party. So possibly a phone visit for like 5 seconds
Very
of
that's
the
cool.
Evercast is in my future, but other than that, that's about it. I'll use it on the Capcom theme EXP.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good. Well, thank you, Enrique. Thank you, Lloyd. It's always you guys make it a blast.
Heck yeah.
It's just like hanging in.
You know what?
Just hanging out.
You know what I love too about our viewers is that you guys are very tolerant on like how we change things around, and we, as soon as we,
it is really cool.
And that's
it's all my fault, so thank you.
But the thing though is that like I don't like to give like a definite update until we know that we're gonna have it or not, and that's why like today I was like, hey, we're just waiting on Rich to create. I just wanted to let you guys like if there's too much radio silence, and then that's why I kind of like when things are official, we post it there. Kind of same with Evercast. But yeah, we really appreciate everyone's flexibility, and that's where we have another Rich's restoration, and I think we talked about you doing one of those live here too.
This one's gonna be cool, guys.
I can't wait.
Good Time Club's everyone here in the Good Times Club already knows how cool it is, but this one for when everyone comes down and watches this one, it was at the undisclosed location. So the restoration happened in a hotel room.
Oh yeah.
And
I know
it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So gotta say that it was surprising. It was surprising. So I hope you guys dig it. There'll be another one for Good Times Club members if I can get it done. It'll be tomorrow as well for Good Times Club members for the week exclusive. If not, for sure Saturday evening, based on the nephew's birthday party and all that stuff. But other than that, I gotta get going on these. I gotta get going on these carts. I gotta get. Like they're stacking up in front of me. All these Evercade carts. I'm gonna start doing Fun for Fives. So that'll be what I'll start working on.
I was gonna say is you think we'll have a coin ops this Sunday?
Yeah. That's the other thing that I'm working on. So that'll be on Sunday if I have any downtime. Oh, here's another because you guys are here. I'm thinking about doing the makeup for the coin ops for the 1 credit quick look. I'm thinking about maybe doing a 1 credit quick look live stream.
Ooh.
Where I actually just blow through, because now we're at 5. I think we're at 5. So I might do a live stream Saturday afternoon, or Sunday afternoon. I'm sorry, and then just do all 5 in one go, and then we're caught up, and then we'll go back to the pre-records. So if you guys are into it, Sunday afternoon, there might be a pop-up live stream, and it, like the 1 credit quick looks, it could be 5 seconds or 5 minutes. So you never know.
Right.
So it's probably going to be around an hour though, for that. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel. That'd be cool. So yeah, and again, thanks guys. You guys are awesome. Toy convention.
Cool.
You gotta let us know, man. You gotta let us know, Phantom. If you get some
Phantom,
cool...
I was gonna say, while you're at that toy convention, if there's anything really cool that you feel that's worthy either to be shown here on Evercast, during the show, let us know, because you can always just DM us that to our Twitter account or something.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Hit us up.
I love the show. It's comfort viewing. Thank you, because that's our goal, man. For this just to be a chill.
Thanks, Chris.
A chill atmosphere. We can just go and forget your problems for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
That's right. That's right.
We also will bring back special guests and all that.
Yes. Yes. I'm actually working on one in the background. That might be cool. That might be actually really cool if we can make it happen. So very excited.
Yeah, I have a friend. It's funny, in real life, his name is Ruben. He wasn't sure about he's into doesn't play into retro games and all that and stuff. And he said he wanted to kind of dip his toes. I'm like, hey dude, if you want to come on our show as a guest, I'll call you Retro Ruben, and it's very chill. Man. There's no agenda and
exactly. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Really, I just told him we just talk about whatever. I'm like, if you wanted to know if you ever wanted to do YouTube or anything, that's how I got sucked into it. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
That's
there's always a few people we have in mind, and then there's other people that we know, and
100%.
see if
100%.
strong arm him. I mean, ask him to come on.
All
And
right,
I
guys.
keep threatening this. One of these days, I swear to God, we're going to update. We're going to update the beginning of the show. We're going to.
Oh yeah, we
add new people.
we have to. We're so
I
bad.
cringe
with
at
that.
myself every time. I really
Yeah.
do.
We got it. We got to do it. But
Yeah.
But anyway, again, thanks everyone for hanging and watching. And until next time, we will see you guys then with some more Calling All Retro Gamers action. So, all right, guys, it's Rich. That's Ed, and we're out. See you guys.
Calling all retro gamers.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.